Hello and welcome to the first of our deep dive videos. As I mentioned during Raiders of the Lost Attic, we've unearthed a massive stack of awesome from Michael's parents' attic. This is the first video where we're going to have a look in greater detail at what's in the contents of one of the boxes and just talk a little bit about the game that we find. So, first up...
Should have prepared this better. Dark Future.
Dark Future! I never played this game, let me say that from the offset. I've heard a lot about it and I've read about it in previous issues of White Dwarf. Briefly, Dark Future, my understanding of it, is it's a racing game with shooting. So it's a bit Mad Max, it's a bit Deathrace 2000.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a precursor to the stuff that we were getting like Gorka Morka and what's happening now in Necromunda Ash Wastes, where you've got kind of vehicle racing rules and stuff. Yeah. But it came with roads. So you had a road race to fight, to drive along. You could lay out your track however you wanted. That's sort of cover. It's a bit like Scale X-Trip with guns.
And it had, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but the corners have got numbers on them at the ends, which are the speed you can go round that corner. So there's acceleration and braking. This is a slight. So
those aren't just the speed. I mean, those are literally the speed limits then.
Well, I can't remember the rules of this very well because it's 30 years since I played it, but I believe there were rules for if you went to try and take the corner too fast, and then there is this spin out thing which could probably be bad. Okay,
you've got here what looks suspiciously like some pages from White Dwarf.
Yeah, so there's rules for an Eldar jet bike, but also I suspect. Yes, a day at the races. So this is combat racing as a career. So this is basically career mode for...
Does it have experience charts then?
It looks like.
You've got the costs to upgrade your engine, buy upgrades like nitrous for it.
Plastic armour, sleeping gas pedal.
That's very cool. But yeah, you've cut these out of White Dwarf back in the day.
Absolutely,
does it say which way? Sometimes they used to say in the corner which page of White Dwarf it was. No,
well, there is another White Dwarf in here. So this, I guess, must have rules in here as well.
I don't think that's not rules for the jet bike for Dark Future. That's rules for the jet bike in Rogue Trader.
In Rogue Trader, yeah. That's
right. My god! Okay, that dates this a little bit as well.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff in here, but
this could be a White Dwarf walkthrough in all and of itself.
This is the same. This is the same.
It's the same day of the races. So it's one where you've cut one out and then one where you haven't.
So I've obviously had 2 copies of that White Dwarf. Which
is okay. Cool.
No idea why.
But there's an advert for it on the back for Dark Future for all the different vehicles that they produced.
And we have some of those here. Very poorly painted.
Let's quickly show those there. Little plastic race cars.
Now, so the idea with this is you get your car and you choose one of your basic models, and there's a little kind of setup sheet for them which you could copy out, and each one has got multiple different hard points where you can put different weapons on, and then there's a bunch of cool little plastic weapons.
Bag of weapons you can have, a little machine gun you can mount on them.
So you can put all kinds of different weapons.
Or like a rocket launcher it looks like.
I can't remember how this worked, but there was some way of working out how valuable your car. You try and make it roughly fair. You can put different things on.
But one of the things that I remember reading about Dark Future was you didn't have to use the plastic cars that came in the box. You could basically use any model car that you could buy in your commercial toy shop. Then using the Dark Future weapons upgrades, you could modify it. Much as you've done with this Matchbox car.
And a purple, yellow and blue seems to be kind of awful paint job.
Clearly it's a Gene Stealer cult car.
Yeah, so this has got auto cannon on the front and a turret on the top where whatever was on the turret is broken off. We've got
more little plastic. And it came with bikes as well, so you could get...
So I think these bikes were a separate thing because there's separate rules in the rules folder I've got here for... Well, this is actually for 3-wheelers.
So this the blurb on Dark Future battle cars says expand your sanctioned operatives, agency forces and outlaw gangs with this box set of plastic cars and bikes. There are enough sprues to build and arm 4 interceptors, 4 renegades and 8 bikes. So I guess it must have been like good guys versus bad guys, the outlaws versus the enforcers.
So I've got a couple of metal bikes here. I've got a trike.
I like that trike. That is a very cool
Which is very
model.
cool. And a bike, which is also quite cool.
Those glued onto classic GW cavalry bases as well. They are
bases.
GW cavalry base.
And then we've got all kinds of things here. So we've got obstacles that you can crash into. We've got
fallen tree there.
Fallen trees. We've got
a wrecked car.
Wrecked car. Oh, these are. So I think you could put out like
Little cattle traps.
little caltrops and things. Some of them are dummy. Don't remember how the rules for that work.
There's some boom markers, I can see those.
There's smoke. There's oil.
Explosion markers.
There's a bag of oil slick markers.
It's Mario Kart in miniature form.
Oh, I believe that is the start or the finish line. Yeah, and I think you showed this on the last video. So
I do like this.
This is the range ruler.
Boom! Daka 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 daka!
Yeah. It's a very
Cool. So we are going to have to, pardon me, we are going to have to get a game of this in, because it looks like you've got everything you need here. You've got the rules.
Complete, yeah.
It's basically complete. The only thing it needs is some dice, and I'm assuming it's just regular D6.
I believe, yeah, normally it's regular D6.
I mean, you've got the rules in that ring binder there.
Yeah, so acceleration tournament rules.
Ooh. Did anyone, in the comments, let us know, did anyone ever play in like a Dark Future tournament back in the day? I don't know if GW ever ran a Dark Future tournament. Obviously there's tournament rules for it.
So those look like the tournament rules are a separate pullouts. Mm-hmm. Then we've got, in fact this folder is, I don't even know if I've got the basic rules in here. We've got street fighting, pedestrians and small arms by Richard Halliwell.
That would be the irony if we had all the stuff except the rules.
New weapons for pedestrians, including pump action shotgun, RPG, assault rifle.
So you can have people on the sidelines firing in.
Yeah, and there's the basic rules. Excellent.
And
components. So it looks like,
I'm assuming, yeah, dice.
So the basic game came with 2 bikes,
2 plastic
one
bikes.
Interceptor, 1 Renegade. So I obviously have got the additional.
You must have picked up some of the extra stuff then.
Yeah,
because there's more than just the basics cars here.
Yeah, I mean we played this quite a lot. It was a really fun game.
Cool. Okay, there is definitely going to be a future video of us playing Dark Future. In the meantime, please come back next week when we will be looking at another of the awesome boxes that has been rescued from Mike's parents' attic. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.